Oh boy, here we are. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. Prologue. Step into the shadows of the Hell House. You've arrived back here at Transylvania on business. And Jaina has hit the keyboard, causing the spotlight search to show up. Hi Jaina, she's joining me. I keep forgetting to introduce her. She seems to be here most of the Let's Plays now. But anyway, yeah, this is the sequel to the very first game I Let's Played on this whole channel. My first videos were Castlevania Part 1 and 2, the original NES game, and I love that game. Jaina loved that game, that's why she joined me for it. But now we're playing this game. And this game is not good. I mean, granted, this game does have decent graphics, and it controls the same as the first game, which I actually like the control scheme, but just the way things are handled is so not good. Anyway, let's start the game up. We don't have any passwords here. Here we go. And here we are in the world, and we have our whip, we have our jump, and we can talk to NPCs. First thing to do in this town is buy a white crystal. Isn't that right, Jaina? So, the white crystal is sold for 50 hearts. Now, if you couldn't tell from the fact that they're NPCs, we have currency, there's towns. This game is more of a non-linear RPG, where there's things to buy, there's grinding, there's level ups and experience points. It's very different than the original Castlevania game. But we go ahead and buy the white crystal like the person told us to. That's all of our hearts. But I don't want to leave just yet. We are going to hang around the town. Jaina's going to bounce because she knows what's coming with this game. Another positive thing about this game is the music. This track here is called Bloody Tears. It's one of the best tracks in the whole series. I love it. And like I said, we're grinding. We gotta kill these enemies, get hearts. Hearts are the currency, and we need to buy things in the towns, which right now in the town there's two things to buy, after the white crystal anyway. There's a stronger version of the whip, which allows us to kill enemies faster. And there's also the holy water, the same item from the original Castlevania. I'm not gonna bother buying the better whip, because the next town after this one, which isn't too far away, has an even better whip than that for only 50 more hearts. So I'm gonna go for that. I believe the holy water's 50 hearts? 50 or 100. But either way, we just gotta do some grinding now. And yeah, this is kind of dull, but we just gotta live with it. Another mechanic that's very different and kind of taxing in this game is that we are constantly on the clock. Up there, we have the time. The first two digits are the day, because each day just passed by, and if you want to get the best item, you have to beat the game in 7 days, something I can't really do myself. Then there's the hours and minutes right there. There's our experience, there's our level, and there's our hearts. So, yeah, there's nowhere that displays our lives. We don't see our lives until we die, and what a horrible night to have a curse, because as you can see by looking at the clock, as I will demonstrate in a moment here, it is now 18 hours, which I guess is nighttime. I don't live in military time. I just killed myself. But yeah, now in the towns we aren't able to buy anything. We aren't able to go to the church to restore health. All we can do in towns is fight these zombies who drop about the same amount of health as the skeletons do. Or the same amount of hearts, excuse me. Again, hearts, you'd think health, but they're not. The enemies at night take more hits, as you can see with this werewolf here. Ow. But they drop more hearts than they usually do, so, you know, it's kind of worth grinding at night just so you can get more hearts. You might wonder, what's wrong with this game? I mean, it looks fine. I think the issue with this game is, there's three main issues with the game. First of all, there's the grinding. Second of all, there's the where do I go? And thirdly, is the, I guess this game's replacement for the standard levels, which are the mansions, which I'll get to when we get to those. Now, like the original game and like most NES games, there are limited lives. And in this game, all lives do, when you die, you go exactly where you were, even if you get a game over, even if you lose all 3 of your lives. But losing all 3 of your lives, you will lose any hearts you collected as well as your current experience. Right now we have 39. You get experience by collecting hearts, and eventually, once you level up, you'll get a health refill, and I believe it's a defense boost, meaning you take less damage from certain hits or something. So yeah, this game is very different than the original Castlevania. When people talk about how NES sequels switch things up, this is a perfect example of it. This game in like Mario 2, and you know, doing Zelda 2 right now, that's another good example. And I would say I like Zelda 2 a lot more than this game. This game, it's very cryptic, and you know, it doesn't bother people nowadays when you have the internet and you have plenty of resources to find the answers to where you're supposed to go and win. Like, I have a map with me right now just because I would not want to play this game without it. I've only beaten it once. But back in the day, like, you had Nintendo Power, and that was about it. And daytime should be coming soon. Yep, morning sun has vanquished the horrible knight. Horrible knight indeed. Like I had mentioned earlier, you go to the churches to get your health back. No wall food in this game. And it's about time we got us a sub-weapon. So like I said, we can go in here. Are you selling the holy water? Yes, you are. And it's only 50, so we still have plenty of hearts left over. 48, okay. So we just need to grind 100 on our way to the next town so we can buy the better whip there. There is another side of this town, another exit, but we aren't supposed to go there until way later in the game. Like after we've beaten, I think, at least 2 or 3 of the mansions, which was 5 total. Or no, 6, technically. So the story of this game is that we're still Simon Belmont. A lot of the Castlevania games have you playing as a different Belmont each time, but this is a direct sequel. We're playing Simon Belmont, and in the last game, we killed Dracula, of course. He's still dead. The issue is that he kind of placed a curse on us. I just died. We had killed Dracula in the last game, but as soon as he died, he placed a curse on Simon. So now Simon is going to die, and the only way to get rid of the curse is to bring Dracula back from the dead, and then kill him again, I guess? Or something? Which the only way to bring Dracula back from the dead is by collecting all of his body parts, which are scattered in mansions all across Transylvania. So anyway, holy water, not as strong as in the original game. It doesn't use any hearts, as you can see. We still have 88. But it no longer has the lingering flame that would have hit enemies. You have to hit enemies directly with it. As you can see, there's just nothing when it hits the ground there. Here's the first mansion in the game, but before we go here, I do want to get the upgraded whip, just so we're a bit more prepared for it. Actually, what time is it? Ooh. You know, maybe I should do the mansion first, because I'm not going to make it back to town before nightfall, and I don't want to just sit through the night yet again. So we'll get plenty of hearts here. Here in the first mansion, you have to have this white crystal that you got in the first town equipped in order for this first platform to appear. That's why they told you, hey, you gotta buy this. There wasn't really a lot of platforming in the original Castlevania, which is why I didn't have a lot of issues with the jumping in that game, but here, there's a lot of platforming, and it's very finicky and not fun. We should be getting a level up fairly soon. There we are, level up, got a full health bar. Our experience is now down to 0, which each level up, your experience takes longer to fill up, so keep that in mind. The reason for the mansions being one of the worst parts of the game is actually because of all the platforming you have to do in it, like here, for example. It's not very fun. These could have been the main opportunity to make this game fun. It could have been like the original Castlevania, where you're going through a standard level. As you'll see, we're going to go up here, avoid those skeletons, and if you attempt to throw holy water here, you'll see it'll go through the ground. It doesn't do that normally, and that's how you can kind of tell that that ground is fake. Otherwise, you just try to jump there, and you go right through without knowing it. Like so. So then you're back here, and you have to go back up. It's just not fun going around throwing holy water all over the place, trying to find the trapped floor. And we're pushed down here because that's slime enemy. Those guys are quite annoying because you can't hit them on the ground unless you use holy water. Now, when you think linear Castlevania adventure, you think, okay, we gotta get to the end of the level, we gotta beat a boss. No, there's no boss here. All we have to do is, we have to get to that cloaked man down there, and we have to buy an oak stake from him, which is 50 hearts, which isn't much for us right now. And then we need to bring that oak stick to the end of the mansion, and use it on an orb, so that we can then get the item at the end, which is one of the pieces of Dracula we're needing to collect. Investing in oak stake? Why, yes. I don't know why I gave him that silly voice, but we have an oak stake now, which is the item we need, and we can buy another oak stake on our way out, because we aren't instantly transported out once we beat this and collect the Dracula piece. We have to backtrack out, unfortunately. So we could always buy... Yep, that's an invisible floor. We could always buy another oak stake on the way out, so that we don't have to buy it in the next mansion, which I might do. It just means that we'll be further and further away from being able to buy our next whip upgrade, which I really need to get. But, here's the oak stake. And we collect Dracula's rib. We now possess Dracula's rib. Okay, yeah, this game... Not only are things you need to do cryptic, but the translation is poor, meaning a lot of the times it just isn't obvious at all what you're supposed to do, even if you talk to all the NPCs. Some of them will even lie to you. Let's go ahead and buy another oak stick from this gentleman here, so we don't have to buy it in the next mansion. Although, mansion number 3, I'm pretty sure the oak stick you buy is right by the end of the mansion, so it's not much of a hassle there. And now we just go out of the way we came. Not much else to say about that, we're just Same path. I mean, I suppose we could fall down the trap floor to try and make a shortcut. That might be an option. This pillar right here, we drop on down. Careful for the water. And we're on a path that now leads to the exit, a different path, so, you know, a bit of variety there. I should mention that we picked up Dracula's rib, which aside from being required to beat the game, it is also a weapon we can use, or rather, a defensive weapon. It is a shield once you have it equipped. That bounces fireball projectiles back at our enemies. Doesn't hit them though, it just makes it so you're immune to them pretty much. There's also not different music in each mansion, so again, it doesn't really compare to the standard levels of the original Castlevania.